I'm not tricking anyone into marriage. I'm not tricking anyone into divorce. I'm putting a price out. You know, it's
a price out. Marilyn Monroe is putting a price. I'm sorry. She's got to be Dolly Parton's sister. There's no way she's not. There's no way she's not. Honey, the tackier I get it, the better it is. I mean, maybe she's trying to hide her voice. I don't know. She's working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Prostitute's alive. It's my price and you be giving. What the hell is going on? Hello, America, FBI and CIA agents and fellow cult members. Welcome to Culture Club USA. I'm DiBrava. Today's riddle is, when petty patties proclaim to be positive purveyors of prostitution and promiscuity, the result tends to reveal a legacy of shame, humiliation, and foolery. Because no matter how hard they fight to alter the morality of life's lessons, their reality is still the world's oldest profession. Okay, on today's episode of OnlyFans on Trial, we will be reacting to a rejuvenated Brian Atlas and rising star The Crucible as they embark on a journey into the finer aspects of morality versus hoality, because there is no duality in this reality. Let's dive in.
The number of premarital sexual partners somebody's had, it's like a direct correlation. The higher that number, the higher the chances of divorce. So to give you an example, a virgin on average has less than 5% chance of getting divorced. Somebody with more than 10 sexual partners on average, 50% chance of getting divorced. That's a big deal. And this is for both sexes. That's a big deal. So if you're somebody who really...
Wait a minute. They have elderly OnlyFans models on here now? What is going on? Are you looking at this? What, is Brian getting desperate? I mean, what is he, hitting up the retirement community, the Social Security office? Okay, this is gonna be a fun one.
So if you're somebody who really cares about marriage and you don't want to get divorced, especially as a man, because men get absolutely screwed in divorce, you want to ask those questions. And so I was very upfront with her. I was like, this is why I'm optimizing for marriage. This is why I care. And it's like, there's different reasons other than that why it matters. It's like if somebody was a serial monogamist, for example, that's different than if they were cheating on their ex-partner, which is different than if they were getting railed at bars all the time. Like you want to know about the person's psychology, and when you have that conversation, you can gain insight into, like, who are you, how do you approach relationships, and if you care about marriage, you can gain valuable information there.
Annie, it looked like you had something to say.
Because I must be an anomaly.
You guys speak into your mic.
I must be an anomaly because my husband never asked that question.
Did she say husband? Wait a minute. What is going on here? I mean, are you looking at this? These women have to be what? 50, 60, I don't know. I don't know how old they are. You got a blue-haired mannequin behind them that looks like the three of them are in a singing group. I mean, what is going on? This woman has a husband. Her hair is pink, and she's like 60 years old.
Because my husband never asked that question.
Well, most guys in your generation don't. Like, it's kind of like an our generation thing.
So here's the thing, though. Rahab was related to Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. Is this woman quoting the Bible?
Jesus Christ. So was Tamar. They had some bad mojo before they were with their husbands.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
If you're going to truly be Christ-like, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, I'm not trying to disrespect you.
I don't feel
That's not going to matter. Because that person, if you love them, that what they've done before does not matter.
Look at this guy. First of all, hold on. This one here is clearly, obviously, a Christian conservative, right? I think we figured that out. Look at his face. He's just like, first of all, Brian put me on with them? Like, where are the hot chicks that I'm supposed to be arguing? I'm literally sitting across elderly OnlyFans models with husbands. I mean, this is strange.
For it does not matter.
So
It doesn't matter. And I'm married
hold on,
14 years now.
Is like, I just want to know if you're a
It's just
slut,
not fair.
you
It's
know?
not fair. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
It's not fair.
I hear what you're
What do you
saying.
mean it's not fair?
Hold on.
Wait, let me say one thing. Let me say
It's
one
just
thing.
not fair.
The life's unfair. The world's unfair. Women curve short dudes because they're short.
Brian, you get a pass
Sorry,
because you're not
Kings.
these two dudes.
Wait, what do you mean?
No, so here's the thing.
Because
so
these
here's the
guys
thing.
are Christ followers.
You're saying
they're supposed to have grace for women in all areas.
Just because we're Christian doesn't mean we have to marry prostitutes.
They can have preference.
Oh, wait a minute. I get it. It's Mary Magdalene. It's Mary Magdalene. We are literally looking at a real life 2024 Mary Magdalene. Are you getting this? You're getting what's going on? This woman is literally sitting here making excuses for her profession. She has a husband, which is very strange. Saying that Christian men should give prostitutes a chance. This is going to be good.
I mean, we have to marry prostitutes.
They can have
No,
preference.
I got to bring it back. He's saying marry prostitutes. The delusion is mind-boggling.
They're supposed to have grace for women in all areas.
Just because we're Christian doesn't mean we have to marry prostitutes.
They can have preference.
I'm not telling you guys to do that. But
Everyone can have preference.
you know what? Rahab was redeemed by a spy. I just preached on this at a church on Sunday.
She's a preacher. She just preached at a church. Oh, wait, this is unreal. She's a preacher. She just preached this at a church on Sunday. I don't know what is going on here. I cannot figure this out. I mean, is she trying to convince these Christian, conservative, good-looking young men to marry one of these OnlyFans prostitutes sitting here in the three? First of all, this one with the blonde hair over here in the middle. Look at her. She looks high. Not her, this one. She looks so high. Look at this. She's like, oh, please, I need something else. I can't get up. I mean, this is the strangest thing I have seen. I can't. I don't know if she's related to Dolly Parton or what here. All right, let's see.
They're supposed to have grace for women in all areas.
Just because we're Christian doesn't mean we have to marry prostitutes.
They can have preference.
I'm not telling you guys to do that. But
Everyone can have preference.
you know what? Rahab was redeemed by a spy. I just preached on this at a church on Sunday.
I had to bring that back because I'm sitting here saying, what kind of church are you preaching at? A church for hookers? I mean, is there like the prostitution founders of Christ? I mean, what are we doing here? Is this just so she can start a 501c3? This is nuts.
She was redeemed by a spy that cared enough for her when the walls came down at Jericho to take her out of that lifestyle.
She's actually quoting the Bible.
But isn't that the
Hey, that's
exception to
good.
the rule? And when you look at your lifestyle,
marry
even
her.
you say maybe I'm the exception. Yes, girl, you are the exception. Look at the
But it
upbringing
can happen.
that you had, and
I
look
want
at
him
everything
to
that
expand. I want him to expand his mind and not be so judgmental
All right,
to
so
someone
hold
he
on,
could
hold on.
possibly love.
Hold on.
How could someone not be judgmental when they're sitting across from an elderly OnlyFans model with purple, blue, and pink hair? Is she serious?
Fully expanded, I will not marry a prostitute.
I'm not.
Brian will not marry a prostitute. He's probably already married 2 or 3 by now and been divorced. We just don't know it. I mean, he's around enough of them.
I just fully expanded, I will not marry a prostitute.
I'm not saying that they're still doing it.
Annie,
It's,
may
you know,
I please respond to everything that you just said? Okay. There is room for Christ-like love, and there is also room for wisdom and discernment in terms of who you are entering a marital contract into. Okay, you can forgive someone for their past. Someone can have a past. That doesn't mean that you're obligated to marry them. Okay, so if I'm having a conversation with a woman and she has a past, but she regrets her past and she's repentant of it. Let's say, maybe she had like a bad pattern in her past. Maybe she was looking for love in all the wrong places, something like that. And she developed a habit of sleeping with men too easily or something. Like that is something that a person can learn from. And there's also absolutely room for Christ-like forgiveness for something like that. There's no question. Everybody can be made new again in Christ. Okay. Why I would care though still as a man is because I want to know what happened there, because if I'm going to get married to you, Unless we're signing a prenup or something like that.
Unless he's signing a prenup. First of all, I don't care how many prenup. There could be a prenup made of pure gold that is literally unbreakable. None of these Christians are marrying prostitutes. Formerly prostitutes, I don't care who it is. He's not marrying a hoe, okay? It's just not happening. He's being kind, but no. No Christian conservative male is marrying a former prostitute. Really? I don't care if she's preaching in the church of prostitutes or not. This is crazy.
Or something like that. Like, I need to know, who are you? How do you approach relationships? I can have forgiveness for your past, but how do you approach relationships? Because here in America, we've got no fault divorce. Is there something there that might lead you one day to just decide you want to divorce me and absolutely screw me and take my kids and half my income and everything like that? Is there something that could be lurking there? Because if there is, I want to know about it. You know?
Yeah, it's called a hustler. That's what prostitutes are, hustlers. Wow, we are in crazy times. I mean, this woman is literally too old to be even debating this. So she's sitting here trying to convince men, Christian conservative men, to marry and give prostitutes a chance. I mean, really?
I'm not obligated to marry a woman with a past. If I'm entering into a contract with somebody, I want to know who I'm entering into that contract with. But you can still love them and forgive them. What'd you say?
You don't have to be a prostitute to do that and divorce someone and take all their money. Okay, there's plenty of women.
We got Marilyn Monroe over here who's now speaking. What, Brian? Brian, what are you drinking lately? What's in the water out there? I mean, he's definitely gone to the East Coast because, I mean, we got Marilyn Monroe and literally Mary Magdalene. I mean, this is crazy.
To do that and divorce someone and take all their money. Okay, there's plenty of women that do that.
Yes, there are.
I mean, what kind of voice is that? You don't need to divorce somebody to take all their money. There's plenty of women now. What is going on? Oh my God.
Yes, there are. There are, which is, and most people nowadays are not prudent about who they marry. Most marriages end in divorce. A lot of people just get up in their feelings and they fall in love with somebody and they don't have the really hard conversations. They don't ask the really tough questions, both men and women.
Correct. And you know what? Because women in general weaponize marriage, okay? These young Gen Zers are getting smart. Thank God, because it's the only chance we have to change society. Because otherwise you're going to have, I mean, think about it. Look at the examples these women have. Young girls. Letitia James, that's your example? Fannie Willis. Oh, honey, I ain't know that. This is what we're doing? Seriously. Stealing another man's and taking it. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. Women in general have lost their minds. They have not only lost their morals, their values, and their self-respect, but they have literally gone insane. They are asking men who are decent, hardworking Christian conservatives to give them a chance after they've been prostitutes on OnlyFans. We are in modern times, people. This is nuts.
A lot of women don't vet men properly for their red flags. A lot of women end up with men who are abusive. Yeah, a man could have had an abusive past. A man could have been a murderer. It's a woman's job to see if that was the case, because if he was a murderer, she can forgive him and have Christ-like love for him. But is she still obligated to marry him? Would it be a good idea?
That's a good one. Wow, that's a good one.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you just have to open your mind, because what if there is a person that you meet, and I'm going to pray that for you, by the way.
You're going to pray for him.
I'm going to pray for him to run into
girl.
You got Mary Magdalene, who's preaching at the Christian Church of Prostitutes in Las Vegas somewhere, probably, okay? She's going to pray. And then you've got Marilyn Monroe sitting next to her going, I'm going to pray too. I mean, really? Do you think that this guy really wants prayers from them? I mean, this is absolutely delusional. They are delusional.
Woman that's so, he can't.
And think about this. See these girls here? I told you this one's high. She don't know what she's, look at her. She's feeling her stomach. Who knows what's going on here? These two over here are the examples for these three, these four, whatever. This is who their mentors are. Need I say more?
So he can't handle the attraction he has, and it's so strong that it's actually.
Wait, let me bring this back.
That's so he can't handle the attraction he has, and it's so strong that it's actually spiritual too.
Look.
And he's like compelled to marry her.
We're not
Just so
we're not
compelled.
against a Christian marrying a prostitute.
I'm
you
just
can see that in
saying
Hosea.
that
Hosea gets a direct
That's
command
the
from God.
redemption. That's what Christ did for the church.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay, so all girls go be prostitutes and then go marry Christian men. Sow your wild oats, make as much money as you can, and then expect a Christian man to take you in. Because everybody's going to be Mary Magdalene now. I mean, really? You know,
I
It's
agree.
beautiful. And I cry for this because there is so many women out there, and I'm going to cry for them that they just want someone to love them and give them a chance.
You're not owed a relationship.
Oh my God, this woman is crying. She's literally crying. You got to feel bad for her in a way. This is what happens when you make some seriously bad decisions as a young adult and you become an elderly OnlyFans model. That's what she's really crying about. She's not crying about Jesus and them giving her a chance. She's crying because her body count is so high that no one will ever take her in. You know why? Really?
So many women out there, and I'm going to cry for them that they just want someone to love them and give them a chance.
You're not owed a relationship. You're not
I know,
owed a
but still.
marriage.
But that's why Christ came.
What?
So we can
Well,
all
I
be
guess-
redeemed.
I guess that's why maybe it could kind of
I
suck.
fight for
It's
the
like-
girls, that's all. I fight
that's fair. That's fair, and I respect that. I
because
respect
I
that.
know their hearts.
You're-
they'll
you're-
give their
Wait.
shirt off their back.
Into the mic, please.
Annie, I want to.
They'll give their shirt off their back, and they give their heart more than once. Trust me, and that's why.
They might be.
Well, they're giving their heart more than once because they've slept with God knows how many men and women and whoever else and aliens. And I mean, think about this. This is how crazy we've gotten. How many people have you seen, women, young girls, that have come on this podcast and they're bisexual, they're straight one week, I mean, this is absolutely out of control because this is who they're looking up to. These are the mentors. I mean, who is raising these children? Who's raising these children? Because I just want to give her a chance. How about no? How about you have self-respect and dignity? You keep your legs closed. And then maybe you'll have a chance in life, okay? But no, you're not going to go be a prostitute, okay? Making money on men and vulnerable men that are just, you know, and then expect a nice Christian boy to come marry you. No, that's not how life works.
Might be
And
great
it-
people,
wait.
but
Yes.
men.
Brian, can I say something really quick?
Let me get in one
I'm
thing
emotional
really quick.
because you know what? I'm sad that
Annie,
this is
I want to
what
say,
men are
Annie,
thinking right now.
well, okay, so hold on. Annie.
It makes me
Annie,
sad.
Annie, please listen.
Am I wrong for
please,
crying?
Annie, please listen. No, you're not wrong for crying. Annie, I love the heart that you have for these women, and I love the fact that you are a voice for these women.
She's a voice for these. Oh my God. Who? This woman looks like that the singer from way back when. I can't think of her name. Oh, she sings it. I see your true colors, you prostitute. I see your true colors, and they'll never love you. So be afraid to marry them hoes. I see your true colors shining through like a stained coal. That's what it is. Who is that singer with all the Cyndi Lauper. That's why this woman is really crying, okay? She's crying because she understands that the gentleman sitting across from her can see through her, okay? We all can see through it. We see your true colors. And I'm not talking about the colors and the rainbow in your hair. I'm talking about through you, the decisions you made. You took the easy way out. Because let's face it, ladies, if you choose to go the OnlyFans and prostitute route in life, you took the easy way out. It takes nothing to be a prostitute. Nothing. All you need to do is one thing. You don't even have to be beautiful anymore. You don't have to be hot. You don't have to be in shape. You don't have to be anything. Because it's all just physical. It's just sex. What does it take? How can anybody be proud of the path that they took when you put no effort into it? You know, it's like, do you ever want something when you're young, like really bad, and your parents are like, well, you're going to have to work for it? You know, there was like I wanted a piano. And my father was like, well, how bad do you want that piano? Of course my dad could afford it. But they made me earn it. They made me earn it. Because if they were going to pay for me to go take lessons to learn how to play and do all of this stuff, they were like, young lady, you're going to appreciate it. That's where we're at here. You get what you put in.
You listening? Yeah. I love the fact that you're a voice for these women, because I can't imagine, you know, your guys' lives and everything that you've been through. Like, I think it's very valuable that you're speaking up on their behalf, okay? Now, just like you're a voice for those women, what I'm trying to do is be a voice for men. And we live in a world where a lot of bad women screw over a lot of good men.
And I understand that. I totally get the Jezebels. I get it.
Okay.
I respect that part. I don't want you guys to get hurt too, but we got to give each other a chance at some point.
There's no question. We've got to give each other Christ-like chances, but it's also important to be for both sexes to be discerning about who they're getting into relationships with, because there's a lot of broken families out there and a lot of broken marriages, and I want to try and prevent that.
Annie, can I ask you a question? Would you object to a woman not wanting to date a man who's shorter than her?
This is a good one. I'm dying to see what she says here. Let's see what she says. What do you think she's going to say?
Date a man who's shorter than her?
That's totally different subject.
No, it's
Are you fucking kidding?
There you go. There you go. There you go. The church of prostitutes. This is what it is. Oh, I want you to forgive me. I want you to see I don't want you to see my true colors. I want you to forgive me. Forget I ever spread my legs and slept with 3,000 people. Forget about the pimps and the hoes and all that stuff. Take me as a new virgin, right? But oh no, wait. He wants to give me a chance? Well, he's too short. No, I need somebody 6'1" and taller. I'm sorry. How crazy is that?
No, it is not, Annie. No, it is
Everybody
not.
knows it's
Well,
not.
but can you answer the question? Can you answer the question though? Would you object? Would you object to a woman not wanting to date a man who's shorter than her?
He's saying preference.
I've dated men shorter than me.
Would you object? Okay, let's say Atlas is like, I don't want to date men unless they're under.
She's dated men shorter than her. And they've seen her true colors, 'cause she's just a prostitute and they ran away. Okay? This woman.
I don't want to date men unless they're over 6 feet tall. Would you say that's wrong, or is she justified in that?
I mean, this has nothing to do with the
It
sexuality part.
It has everything to do with it, Annie. Is she
for me,
wrong
it
for wanting
doesn't.
that?
For me, it doesn't.
For you,
if
it
he has
doesn't.
muscles, it's on.
Okay.
If he has muscles, it's on. I'd like to know what church this woman is actually preaching at. Can somebody find out and tell me? I'd love to know. I'd like to give them a call. This woman is preaching at a church. A church of what we don't know.
So basically,
It's a
what you're
personal
saying,
preference.
what you're saying is it's not okay for us to have preferences, but it's okay for women to have preferences. That's what you're telling me.
I want someone to buy the champagne.
This has all got to do with redemption and sexuality and
Atlas
mistakes
wants
being
somebody
made.
to buy the champagne.
If you were born short, that's not your fault.
Right, but choosing to be a
People can make mistakes in their life, but they can also choose to continually do wrong, and that is their fault. If somebody chooses to keep doing the wrong thing, that is their fault. If a woman decides, I want to go have sex with 50 men at bars over the next 10 years, obviously no woman's consciously thinking that, but if she makes the choice continually to do that, that's her choice. She made that choice.
Basically,
I'm not tricking anybody though. I'm not tricking anyone into marriage. I'm not tricking anyone into divorce.
not what
I'm putting a price out. And, you know, it's
A price out? Marilyn Monroe is putting a price. I'm sorry. She's like a part of the Brat Pack or Rat Pack. What is that? I mean, this woman literally is delusional. She's putting a price out. How much is somebody paying for that? Brian, where are you? Brian, where did you find this? Where did you find her? These are some gems right here. She's putting a price out. I'm putting a price out. Who talks like this? She's putting a price out. I mean, happy birthday to you, Mr. President. I mean, what in God's name is going on? Brian has lost his mind. There's too much competition out here. He's like, I got to get some serious numbers going. People are bored with me. Madison's gone. He's got some strange dude that looks like he works for Putin standing in here sometimes. I'm like, what is going on? This place is like weirdo land now. It's becoming weirdo land. I mean, Social Security OnlyFans models putting a price out. I put my price out. What is your price, lady?
I'm not tricking anyone into marriage. I'm not tricking anyone into divorce. I'm putting them. I just want
to know how she could trick anyone, period. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm not tricking anyone into marriage. Who the hell could you trick in a marriage? This is insane. I'm sorry. Oh my God. You're not tricking anyone into a divorce? Sweetheart, I mean, unless they're blind and dumb, you're not tricking anyone. You can't even find a trick. Seriously. I mean, unless you're dealing with an alien, I mean, I don't know.
Price out, it's up front. And guaranteed they'll give you what you pay for.
And if they want it, they want it. Is that what you're saying? If they want it, you got
there's
it.
No tricking. There's no.
But this is
she's honest.
This has to be. She's got to be Dolly Parton's sister. There's just no way she's not. There's no way she's not. Honey, the tackier I get it, the better it is. I mean, maybe she's trying to hide her voice. I don't know. She's working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Prostitute's alive. It's my price and you be giving. What the hell is going on? It's freaking.
You're saying if they want it, you got
there's
it.
No tricking. There's no.
But this is
she's
the thing.
honest. Yeah.
This is
I'm
the thing
honest.
But it's not a contract for a relationship.
Okay, this is the thing though, is that.
What did this one say? These youngins over here, like they could get a word in edgewise and like it would matter.
Contract for a relationship.
What?
Honest. Yeah.
This is the
I'm
thing
honest.
But it's not a contract for a relationship.
What does that mean? It's not a contract for a relationship?
Okay, this is the thing though, is that when men have preferences, standards, and boundaries, for example, not wanting to date a woman who's has a promiscuous past, not wanting to date a woman who was engaged in sex work in her past or currently, to me, it's shocking that it's somehow that you can
I just feel like we shouldn't have to explain it.
I understand.
No, Brian. Okay, let me explain it for you, okay? These women want life partners. Well, there's a life partner out there for them. It's called Shuggy Bear, okay? He drives a Cadillac, has a coke nail, wears a mink coat, and walks with a cane. You understand? That's your life partner. It's called a pimp. What freaking reality are we in? These women are like 70 years old, sitting across from these absolute gentlemen, okay, that are well put together, well spoken, and they are sitting there trying to convince them that that some verse of the Bible it says God is saying that you should forget about a prostitute's past, no matter how many people she slept with, no matter how many diseases she's carried, forgive her and marry them because they need to be given a chance. They are delusional, okay? This woman is almost as delusional as Fannie Willis. We are in, I don't know. I think I'm in an alternate universe right now.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. People always have issues with male standards, male preferences, male boundaries, but nobody bats an eye when a woman says, I want XYZ in a partner. Women are allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries. Men aren't. If a woman says, I want to date a guy who's tall, cool. If a guy says, I don't want to date a woman who's overweight, whoa, you're fat shaming, that's body shaming, you're discriminating.
Right.
Was Brian like a chubby picked on kid or something when he was young? I'm starting to feel sorry for him. I don't know. Seems like he has a lot of deep-rooted issues.
A woman who's overweight, whoa, you're fat shaming, that's body shaming, you're discriminating.
Right.
Men's preferences are discriminatory, women's preferences are preferences. It happens to be the case that men care about a woman's past, her promiscuity, so...
This guy, look at the one in the white shirt. He's just looking at Brian like, will you shut up? Like, seriously? Like, I'm saying the real stuff here, okay? He's like, Annie, listen, we understand that God forgives. And Brian's sitting here spewing, I don't know what he's even talking about, but this guy is like, God, can you keep it moving? I got real stuff to say and do here.
So,
It's literally
just like-
it's literally
Men are
like
allowed
the
to sleep
equivalent.
with as many
Hold on,
women as
hold
they
on,
want,
hold on,
and
hold on.
women aren't.
This is like this conversation is like the equivalent of saying, okay, so a man's like, yeah, I don't want a woman who is a prostitute. This is basically the same as if a woman was like, I don't want a guy who has gotten drunk and beaten up his girlfriends in the past. You could have grace for a man's past, but if you
I'm sorry, not to cut him off, okay? But isn't like a prerequisite to get on this podcast that you have to have like triple F breasts? Like, is there anyone normal that shows up with a normal top on ever? I mean, look at this. I'm just saying, okay?
But if you as a woman don't want to be with a guy who's beaten women in the past, that's your choice and you're justified in that.
I don't care if a man doesn't want a woman.
What? She forgot to get dressed. Okay, she's in her she's in her undergarments. What are we doing? What is this?
Woman that was a prostitute. I don't care.
You
that
don't.
doesn't bother me.
Annie does.
She's in a bathing suit. And that Christian boy is supposed to give her a chance. Forget about your OnlyFans website. I want to take you home to my mama. I want to take you to church on Sunday and make sure you wear that outfit.
It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
What it bothers me is that we pass judgment on women for sleeping with a lot of men, but women don't get to pass that judgment on men.
Women
that's the
absolutely
wouldn't
get
make
to
that problem.
pass that
That's the
judgment.
problem.
They absolutely get to pass that judgment.
Both men and
absolutely
women
can.
both men and women make judgment calls about potential partners.
And you know what? And that's makes the world go round.
I'm sure you like
That makes the world go around. Okay, but men pass judgment on the
You know, if this woman could write songs like Dolly Parton, I'd give her a pass. I'll give Dolly Parton a pass, okay? A pass. But I don't understand what I'm looking at here. And her voice. Is this a man? A woman? What is going on?
the girls at the Bunny Ranch every single day on race, color, size.
Did she say the Bunny Ranch? It's all starting to make sense. It's all starting to make sense. The Bunny Ranch. Okay, if you guys don't know what the Bunny Ranch is, it's some brothel in Nevada somewhere where it's legal to have a house full of prostitutes. Okay? It's all starting to make sense.
So you'll date anybody. There's no discernment at all when
I'm
it comes
on
to who
this
you
show
date.
to figure out how to date. Hello.
Wait, what'd she say?
Date anybody. There's no discernment at all when
I'm
it comes
on
to who
this
you
show to
date.
figure out how to date.
She just said that she's on this show to figure out how to date. Well, honey, you're like 30 years late. Okay, you're a day late and $1 short, sweetheart. You made your decisions. You went down. Nobody can save these women. Do you realize that? That's why the other one's crying.
Hello.
But okay, so you just okay, all right, okay.
We don't know what we're doing.
Here, we're gonna wrap up here pretty soon.
Guys, I just don't understand why people can't just love.
Who is this woman in blue? Is she like Madison's fill-in or something? Is she like the hall monitor or what? What is going on? Brian, I have to say, you do entertain me. You have the absolute strangest birds on this show, and it is highly entertaining. I'll give you that.
Guys, I just don't understand why people can't just love.
I'm just
I
getting
think
bashed.
you guys aren't saying that you guys do think everyone deserves love. It's just not your preference.
Well, you're saying you can love a prostitute without marrying her. Okay.
Okay, that's the point. We don't want you to marry us. We want you to take
She
your
did.
Someone did because
But
Jesus
you
was
are
born.
also saying that a prostitute, if the guy is okay with it, she still deserves love and marriage. If somebody,
Hey, yeah. If a guy wants
if
to,
a guy's okay
more
with
power
it,
to him.
yeah, it's
If
just
a guy's
you
okay with it-
personally are not.
Well, I think we're also saying here most men are also probably going to have an issue with it.
Not even
So
religious
what?
guys. I think it's like a biological and
Yeah, you can-
psychological
I mean-
reaction. Like
Yeah.
take religion completely out of the picture and most guys would still have the exact same feeling because it's biological and it's psychological.
Oh my God. I have never, ever seen anything like that in my life, okay? We've got Cyndi Lauper, who is now Mary Magdalene, sitting next to Marilyn Monroe, trying to broker 4 other OnlyFans models because they work at the Bunny Ranch. I mean, that's the only thing that I can see going on here. They're like, God, we can't get the sale done. They're going to go back and be like, we didn't make a sale. He'd be like, did you make a sale, ladies? Oh, well, honey, we didn't get the sale done. What do you mean? I mean, this is just crazy. All right, let's get on to the next clip. We got the crucible in the next one, so let's see where this one heads to.
This is a question for everyone. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm traditional.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let this breathe. My lips are sealed, but it's difficult to hold my tongue right now. Okay. You know what I love about the Crucible? He is always smoking and he looks so cool.
This is a question for everyone. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm traditional.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I can't contain myself tonight. I can't contain myself. But I'm going to keep it quiet. But you already know what I'm thinking, okay? But you know something? I love the Crucible because he's always smoking. He's Mr. Cool. He is what you see is what you get. I can't wait to see where he's going to go with this one.
I'm traditional.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty traditional. Yeah. Besides from my occupation, yes, I am.
Sorry.
Besides from my occupation, yes, I am.
Yes.
I would say I'm pretty traditional, yeah.
Traditional.
Traditional woman.
Okay. So, traditional.
Look at his face. Look at the Crucible. I mean, first of all, I don't know what you got. I mean, this is like some fake Anna Nicole Smith, I don't know, a hippopotamus sitting over here talking about they're traditional. No, honey, no traditional woman leaves the house wearing that, okay? No. And here he is. Look at this. This is like Madison's replacement over here. I mean, what is this, like some Nazi soldier sitting over here? Can you, somebody message me and explain to me what the purpose of these costumes are and what they do? What does Madison and this guy do? I just cannot figure it out. All right, I digress.
Traditional.
Traditional woman.
Okay. So, traditional.
What makes you a traditional woman?
You guys are not traditional to be like, well, I don't know about like you three, you, and you, because you're engaged in sex work.
So I don't.
You're not traditional.
Well, I did say that I'm not looking for marriage right now or a relationship either.
Yeah, but
so
it's
with
just
that
like you're
being
not a
said,
traditional woman.
With that being said, I'm not right now. But when I'm not working and stuff like that, and
But
when
how
I
can
do
you
plan-
hold those traditional values but still engage in something that goes completely against what
I said whenever?
Yeah, exactly. This girl is right. How do you hold traditional values but you're a prostitute? You know, somebody's got to do something about these colleges. The school system, I don't know. These people make no sense. Do you notice that? I'm a traditional woman, but I'm a prostitute. So when I decide not to be a prostitute, I'll be a traditional woman. No, sweetheart, it doesn't work that way. I mean, it just does not work that way. Hello?
that goes completely against what
I said whenever I do end up wanting to find a husband.
So then she's going to be born again, right? Everybody's a born again Christian, but they have no idea what that means, by the way. Just born again prostitutes. I mean, these people need to start their own cult, their own religion. Seriously, because they're delusional.
In the future, I wouldn't be doing this at that point anymore.
And there's another elderly OnlyFans. Brian, what is going on? Did you have to go to the Social Security office to handle something? I mean, or are you visiting the rehabs in Los Angeles or what? I mean, this is a third elderly OnlyFans model I've seen. Unless these are like their pimps. Okay.
This at that point anymore. And then would I be a traditional woman?
Right, but currently you can have like traditional values of what you want to be in the future. I understand that. But you're living a lifestyle now that is not portraying that at all. So you can't necessarily...
And I said that when I said my answer. I said, besides my occupation, no.
No comment.
But
then what makes you a traditional woman?
I have traditional values.
Everything besides my occupation, which is prostitution. Everything aside from that makes me traditional. I mean, gentlemen, I feel for you right now. I feel for every man out there right now.
But I'm not dating, so I don't apply those to my everyday life.
What are your traditional values?
What do I believe traditional values are?
What are your traditional values?
I'm not applying those because I'm not looking for...
But you just said you are.
But just in general, like you're not dating, you said outside of your occupation, you're a traditional woman. So what is a traditional woman if you had to, you know, X, Y, and Z?
Like, what would I label as a traditional woman? Okay. Somebody that takes care of, like, the house, takes care of the kids, cooks,
You don't
cleans.
want kids, right?
That's what I'm labeling as a traditional woman. Is that what you're? Is that what you were asking? Okay, so.
Go ahead.
Let us assume for a moment, if you don't mind.
Wait. Okay, get ready, everyone. Get ready. If you guys aren't familiar with the crucible, I think he's going to crucify all of these girls. And by the way, I think Brian Atlas has a stalker. Okay? That man or soldier, whatever that is, standing behind him, he's a stalker. Are you looking at the way he's looking at him? That's a stalker. That's the sign of a stalker. Brian, you may need security soon. Just saying.
Let us assume for a moment, if you don't mind, that a person came over to you and said that they were a Christian who worshiped Satan.
That is so good. Okay, I got to bring it back. A Christian that worships Satan. This is good.
Worship Satan. Would you believe that they were a Christian?
No.
Well, we've got one with a brain, with the black hair, who said, no.
You and all your little, like, analogies.
If a person came over to you and said, I'm a Christian and I worship Satan, would you believe that they were a Christian?
I said you and your little analogies. I'm not...
First of all, this woman needs, like, a table to carry those breasts. I'm serious. I mean, literally. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get back to it. First of all, none of them can answer that question. Okay, if you were a Christian that worships Satan, would you call that a Christian? None of them can answer except one.
Jeez, I'm not answering.
I know what you said, so I just reasserted the question in hopes, maybe in vain, that you would actually answer it.
I'm not answering your question.
Whoa, hold on.
So why are you on the podcast? Oh, I know. To get more OnlyFans memberships. You have a sale going on this week. It's $29.99 instead of $50.
That question doesn't reveal any. I can see why you objected to the body count question earlier.
No, I'm not answering it just because it's like that's not what we're talking about.
It's a hype.
He's using it as a comparison.
No, I understand that, but he's been doing that a lot.
And I know.
There's nothing wrong with it.
To test people's logic and their worldview so that I can apply whether or not they're being consistent with their own framework. And so what you said here, and I'm not beating up on, listen, I don't care about your past. I don't give a shit about any of that. All I care about is what you said. So what you said right now is this. You said, right now I'm not a traditional woman. I concede that that's true. But in the future, I want to be and can be a traditional woman then, later, right? Okay, got it. So all I'm doing is just setting the foundation to show you kind of the absurdity here. If
it's
a Christian...
They do not like him right now. He is about to lay them all down. Look at them. Look at they're afraid of him. None of them want to say a word.
Kind of the absurdity here. If a Christian came to you and said that they were a Christian but worship Satan, would you believe them?
It's not absurdity.
Do you?
Well, hang on. I can demonstrate to you how absurd it is. Just answer the question.
No, because it's not absurdity.
No. Would you, if a Christian came to you and said that they worship Satan, would you believe they were a Christian?
It's not absurdity.
My God, answer the question. The answer is no. It's logic. I mean, there's like nothing in the hello. It's like the Tin Man.
Answer.
No, the Scarecrow. If I only had a brain. I mean, my God, these people are nuts.
Okay.
Engage with his question.
Well, let me just ask the second part then, because we know the obvious here. if a Christian came to you and said, I'm a Christian, but I worship Satan, but later on, I'm going to worship Jesus, would you believe them then?
No clue.
No clue.
Are you just not going to engage in good faith with his question? It's a totally fair question to ask.
And you can ask one back. I'm not adverse to you asking me questions back. Like that's
I'm
what
just saying
like the
what my
okay. So this
opinion
chick over
is.
here,
I don't
we
need to
were
jump
going
through,
back
like,
and
the
forth for
hoops to-
a bunch of this. But
You think it's absurd. I don't think it's absurd. Can we agree to disagree? Because we're adults.
No.
You're engaged in sex.
He said no.
It's absurd. Can we agree to disagree? Because we're adults.
You're engaged in sex work. You're engaged in sex work. You're engaged in sex work. You're a stripper, escort, OF girl. These are not traditional things. What? Now, I actually think that you'll still get this traditional treatment from men, but why would you feel entitled or expect traditional treatment from men when you guys are not traditional women yourselves? That seems like a raw deal for the dude.
Well, that's why I don't date. As of right now, I haven't been dating, and that's what I've said the last 2 podcasts as well.
Well, you said you...
Here we go with another professional OnlyFans podcaster. I mean, these women are just revolved. They go from one to the next one to they're professional guests, OnlyFans guests, among other things. We all know what else they're professionals at, okay?
As of right now, I haven't been dating, and that's what I've said the last 2 podcasts as well.
Well, you said you were dating a bit.
Well,
I think you're just saying that.
No, I think
I just want to know, who dates a prostitute? I really like other porn stars, maybe? I could see that. Like Adam 22. Yeah, he dates porn stars. His wife is a porn star. He books other men to come sleep with his own wife. So, yeah, I understand that. But if you're talking about somebody outside of the porn industry, I don't know a single man on earth that is going to marry a prostitute. I don't know anybody that's going to date a prostitute, personally. I mean, maybe I'm nuts. Would any of you guys date a prostitute? I'm just curious.
I did say that the first one, but I haven't been.
You said you went. You said you've been on dating apps, and if I recall, one of our previous conversations, you said you actually don't disclose to some of the men you date that you're.
I don't tell
escort.
guys that right off the bat when I hang out with them, hey, I'm an escort.
Whoa, guys. Hold on a second. This is scary. This is why all of you gentlemen should be very, very afraid. Now, this girl, I'll have to say, she looks pretty normal. Okay? Are you getting what Brian is saying? She's on dating apps and going out on dates, apparently, according to Brian. And she's saying, but I don't tell the people I date what my profession is. Gentlemen, beware.
To some of the men you date that you're.
I don't tell
escort.
guys that right off the bat when I hang out with them, hey, I'm an escort. But I also don't right off the bat sleep with guys. And I think that I don't need to disclose to everybody that I'm a sex worker for safety reasons. For top one, most importantly.
Is she nuts? She doesn't need to disclose that she's a sex worker to men she is dating, that she meets on an app or anywhere else for that matter? Is she literally insane? Guys, I hope you're paying close attention to this, because this is what's going on out here. Women are conniving, you know what?
Safe thing to do would be, before you even meet them, say, hey, just letting you know, I do this work.
No,
and
because
then if they still want to date you.
No, I don't, but I'm not dating.
You know something that's funny, though? Let me just bring this back. You know what? She's not telling you, whoever she's talking to out there, okay, that she's a damn prostitute. But I bet you any money she wants to know what's in your bank account, how much you make, how much you're going to spend on her, where you live, what kind of car you drive. Am I right or am I right? I'm right. I'm going to go with I'm right.
No, I don't, but I'm not dating to the intent of marriage.
Doesn't matter.
Right?
Okay.
Am I using that in proper terms?
You're saying that
I'm not dating
I fuck
to
the men
date guys.
and I don't tell them.
I don't fuck guys, and I just said 10 seconds ago that I'm not dating them and fucking them right away.
So you've
now,
never,
if I come to that point.
Now she says right away.
Where we're comfortable.
This is getting good. This is getting good.
I come to that point where we're comfortable enough to where I want to fuck him, then I would disclose that information.
So
Did you see a guy in the shadow back there. He's over there lurking. Look, this is so scary. This is like that scene in The Wizard of Oz that's like, it's like black and white and they say somebody like offed themselves on set. Like, what is this guy doing back there? Are you seeing it? The little pin on the head? Sorry.
At that point where we're comfortable enough to where I want to fuck him, then I would disclose that information.
So every man you've slept with while doing escorting, you've disclosed in each instance that you're an escort. If I recall correctly from your previous appearance on the podcast, you said,
I can't remember.
If I recall,
my previous.
You had sexual encounters with men without disclosing to them that you're also an escort.
No. Brian, you're good. You're good. Good memory, Brian.
I can't recall what I said in my last episode.
If I recall correctly, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm telling you right now that I don't meet guys at a bar or on dating apps or whatever, and for the first couple hours, I'm like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, I'm an escort. Why? Because that's none of their business. For starters. For two, I'm not...
Can you imagine? It's none of their business? She's saying that it's none of their business. She's a sex worker. My God. If you're meeting and courting a woman and you meet her at wherever, a bar, because that's clearly where she's going, I mean, don't you think a man has the right to know if you're a freaking prostitute, for God's sake? Wow.
I'm not about to go and fuck them this same night, this week, or even this month.
So you want to trap them
no, I don't
into
want to
liking
trap
you?
them. No,
you don't
I'm
want
just
to
being
disclose.
Casual.
You don't
right
want to
now,
disclose
I'm having
something.
Casual friendships with men, and I'm not having sex with guys. I'm not dating guys right now.
Don't you think your occupation though is important for even if a guy you're just casually seeing and going on dates with is an important thing for them to know, even if you're not.
Do
dating
you guys
with the
know that a lot of girls in my line of work get murdered and all types of stuff for just being sex workers?
Here's an idea.
So why would I just right off the bat tell a guy that I've only met for 2 hours, hey, I'm an escort?
If your safety is your primary concern, I would strongly encourage you to, before a guy starts getting emotionally invested in you and you omitting and hiding, hold on, stop.
Oh, you know something? I'm going to give it to you, Brian. This is a very good point. You know what he's saying? So you're teasing these men, you're pulling them in, you're not telling them the truth about who you are and what you do. You're getting them to kind of fall for you, right? And then you tell them that you're a prostitute. Well, that's how you get murdered, okay? He's right. That's what he's saying.
Omitting and hiding, hold on, stop. You omitting and hiding this thing that could be a major, major deal breaker for him. I would strongly encourage you to disclose before you even meet them, which would be the safest thing. If you just say up front before the guy has an opportunity to meet you in person, but if you like bamboozle a guy, let me hide this away from him, and then he builds a connection with you, I actually think you're putting yourself in much more danger.
So are you done?
Good, Brian. Good call. That's all I'll say. You said it well.
I have a
What's with the fucking attitude?
Because Brian,
here we go again. Brian has been unhinged lately. You notice that? I think it's a stalker back there. Look at this guy. Look at the soldier back there. He's like fixated on him. Brian, I think you may be in danger at work. Okay? You may be in danger at work. Everyone take note of this in case something happens to Brian. Okay, hey, I said it first.
But if you like bamboozle a guy, let me hide this away from him, and then he builds a connection with you, I actually think you're putting yourself in much more danger.
So are you done? I have a
What's
question.
with the fucking attitude?
Because Brian, I literally just said I'm not intending to date, and you keep reiterating the fact that I'm trying to date.
She means reiterating. This is why she doesn't know, okay? This is why she's confused. She's obviously not that bright, okay? This is why when the Crucible is asking her if a Christian told you they worship to the devil, she doesn't know the answer if she would believe they were Christian. The answer is no, honey. It's no.
These boys that I'm meeting at the bar for an hour or two, like I'm not dating them, therefore I will not be telling you about my occupation.
So what are you meeting boys at a bar for an hour or two for? What are you doing? What is this, some hourly wage? Like, why are you meeting boys at a bar for an hour or two if you have no intention on dating anybody or anything else for that matter? What are you doing? You're just doing it for fun? You're just doing it to tease them?
Now, as if I'm going to be dating you, I will. There's two differences there, but you keep trying to beat the fact that I'm about to be fucking this guy and that I need to tell him. Of course, I get it. But I'm not dating them.
I have a question for, at what point, like, would someone in your, like, line of occupation, what point do you believe would be the best point to?
Do you see the Crucible over here? He's just like, these are the dumbest bimbos that I have ever heard. He has no words. He's just like, Jesus, these broads are stupid. I'm sorry, I just had to go there. All right, let's see what Blondie's question is.
Line of occupation, what point do you believe would be the best point to tell them, in your opinion? Like the safest point.
If I'm dating them?
If you're dating them?
I don't know, because I haven't gotten there yet. Myself, I have not gotten there yet.
Or not for yourself, just like for
On a previous podcast, I'm almost certain you said that you've had casual sexual encounters with men and did not disclose your profession as being an escort. Is that true or not true?
I literally said I don't know what I said on my past
Forget
episodes.
what you said. What actually...
Brian, she doesn't know anything, okay? She doesn't know, Brian.
occurred. Have you engaged with men sexually and not disclosed to them that you're an escort?
No, I really don't have sex outside of my work life.
You said recently.
I don't really have sex.
Wow, that dude is so scary. I'm telling you, this is crazy. He does not take his eyes off of Brian. Even when the other girl is talking, his eyes are still on Brian. Look, he's not talking and he's still looking at Brian. Brian. Pray for Brian, everyone.
Really have sex outside of my work life. Like, for real.
If I recall the podcast, I think you said you did, though.
Can I add something?
I can only talk about right now and what we're talking about.
You don't recall previous sexual encounters?
So, I mean, since you're on the podcast, they're going to know where your line of work is for your safety. So I'm just saying the public and how many viewers there are. So I was just kind of throwing that out there.
They're allowed to know where I work. You know what I mean? The Moonlight Bunny Ranch is established, legalized.
She works at the Bunny Ranch. OMG. She's a Bunny Ranch worker. She's a Bunny Ranch worker. This is all making sense. This is all making sense. Okay, the elderly OnlyFans, that's the madam. She's pimping all these hoes. That's what's going on here. See, pimps just look different nowadays. You get it? Like, we're in an era where pimps, they used to be like having a coke nail with a mink, like I said before, right? Now, pimps are like emailing you, go, Jenny, I didn't get the influx of money this week. Is everything okay? And she's like, F you, John. I'm not paying. He's like, well, I'd really appreciate, it's an email. You get this? It's an email. I'd really appreciate it if you sent me my 89%. This is where we're at.
Brothel.
But they're going to know your line of work because you're on the podcast.
I know. I've been on this podcast before.
She works at a brothel. A brothel.
I was just disclosing if you were, for like safety purposes, I mean, you're on a public platform and they're just going to be aware of your line of work.
I understand that, but I don't just go telling, and that's different, but I don't just go having face-to-face conversations with people that I meet at a hotel lobby or at a bar and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a stripper, or by the way, I'm an OnlyFans girl, or by the way, I'm an escort. Like, why would I have to say that to somebody that I know that I'm not going to go take upstairs and fuck them in my room? Now, if I was, that's a different story. I'm telling you guys that right now. So, Brian, you getting mad at me and getting upset with me is not kind of cool because I'm literally just telling you, like, right now.
See, I do have a chatter here, though, who did pull the clip from the previous episode and says...
Oh, no.
Crucible is good. Crucible had one of his little fans pull up the clip of her saying it. See what I'm saying? He's dangerous.
This episode and says,
oh no,
a quote, she did say that she slept with men and did not tell them, and that she also uses dating apps and doesn't tell the men she's an escort in the dating apps.
Well, when I use the dating apps, I don't even go on dates with these guys. Like, I've literally been on one date with a guy and I disclosed to him that I was an escort and we didn't even sleep together. So, and since then I've deleted all the dating apps and I'm not on any dating apps.
I mean,
and I've been focused, and the last podcast that I've been on was, I think it was in October timeframe.
But
so since then, I've been exclusively.
I'm looking in the past. So maybe since then you've changed shit up. but
that's like saying a movie actor is like
a movie actor. I mean, so this girl is literally, you hear what they're saying, okay? She's meeting men on apps, not telling them she's a prostitute, and sleeping with them. I mean, first of all, so what is this, like a charity? Like, what? I don't understand this. Like, you're sleeping with men that you met on an app and you're not getting paid? None of this makes any sense.
That's like saying a movie actor is like
what?
Being,
No,
like,
that's-
yes, it is. It is though. You already know what I'm going to say. It is.
Comparing a movie actor,
That's like she's like
and having a script and a scene is
she's going to be
different
all
than-
the act.
You know, all these women think they're Pretty Woman. They all think they're Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. Like some man that's worth like $100 million is going to show up to the bunny ranch and rescue her. Some bird brain bimbo. I'm going to go with no. Okay? Because first of all, ladies, what you're not understanding, okay? What you're not understanding here is that in the movie, Julia Roberts in that film, okay, where she is a escort or prostitute, she has personality. She has pizzazz. She has everything that you don't. You are not going to get a man like whoever that actor was. I don't remember who his name is, but whatever. In that movie with Julia Roberts, okay, Pretty Woman, that guy is not doing anything with you except paying you for a service and leaving because you have nothing to offer. Get it?
And all that, like, no, all the characters and stuff like that.
That is vastly different than engaging in pornography and saying that your inner being is different than the persona that you put
because
out
it is.
there.
Because when you're a stripper, it's an alter ego. Like,
but that is still you.
Pick a different name, and it runs different.
Like, it's still affecting your brain. That is still affecting your relationships.
But you gotta know that it's work and how to separate the two, because that's work.
If other
so
men...
to get this right, the internal you is an ethical, traditional trad woman, but the you which is presented to the world is a prostitute.
I'm
and
not a
you
prostitute.
see that there's no conflict between the two of these whatsoever, because the internalized your set of internal ethics is that this is bad, but your external ethics are that you're going to do it anyway because you want fucking money. Is that right?
I am not a prostitute. I do not do prostitution.
I didn't say you. I was talking to the guy who was just speaking.
Great.
I'm sorry.
If I okay,
These are like catfishes on a whole other level. Do you understand that? These women are like catfishes on a whole other level. This one's over here like, I work at the bunny ranch, right? Meanwhile, I'm worried for my safety. I mean, so you go, let me get this straight. You go on apps, you meet gentlemen somewhere, wherever you're meeting them, off of apps at bars or whatever. You won't tell them what your profession is because of your safety, but you're working at the bunny ranch, right? I mean, so when the Hell's Angels roll in with their crew and run through you, you're not worried about that though. You're I mean, what are we talking about here? This is insane.
I'll say this. So it's like you guys want your cake and to eat it too.
Oh, and it's delicious.
On one hand, you want to push your lip.
Oh my God. Well, we know she likes her cake and it's delicious because she's eaten plenty of it. That's all I'll say.
And you want to push your liberal, feminist, progressive, equality values as far as humanly possible. Sex work is fine. Men are insecure for not wanting to date a woman who's getting blasted inside of by other men. Hold on. No modesty, no public-facing modesty at all. You want to sleep with a bunch of men and be promiscuous. On the other hand, when it comes to your admittedly sexist and gendered expectations of men, you may as well be 1950s bachelorettes. You want men to be chivalrous. You want them to be providers. You want them to be protectors, leaders, take all the initiative, pay for dates, get you flowers, open the car door, get down on one knee, spend 5 figures on a ring and propose to you. And that's just absurd.
You know what? I thoroughly enjoyed that. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. You have a bunch of women working in a brothel, okay, at the Bunny Ranch that are literally sitting here in the first episode. You've got, I mean, first of all, you got Mary Magdalene and the 5 disciples over there talking about conservative men should be giving them a chance, okay? As if you're not a prostitute, all right? And then you've got Captain Sabaho over here, and she's like, I'm running a charity giving free sex and not telling. I mean, what is this? Well, I mean, is it the Bunny Ranch or is it Little House on the Horror-y? Is this some 501c3 that they're running? She's giving free sex out to men on apps and not telling them that she's a prostitute? I mean, guys, this is nuts. You have got to stay away from OnlyFans models. You know why? Because you should see their true colors, because they're just a prostitute. So be real afraid to wipe them hoes. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm DiBrava. See you next time.